Are you the number one producer in your agency?
I am, yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's how, I mean, it gives you the permission to coach. It inherent trust without even anyone needing to look. And then you know what you're doing. And I love that, dude. That's why you're building so fast. I mean, that's one of the many reasons, right? Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Kyle, you have an agency right now that's doing almost or consistently $400,000 a month. How many agents do you have that are working with you?
So
let's just go producers. How many people made a sale last month?
40.
40. Okay, 10K average, not bad average, right? Yep. Some were way higher, some sold one. But let's jump into that. What inspired you to want to build? Where are you finding great people, and how are you getting them started?
Okay, so the first one, so I started building almost this time last year. That was the first time I actually brought on someone. And if you want to know my biggest regret, which I don't believe in regret, but my biggest regret was, if I were to believe in regret, was actually not starting earlier. But aside from that, it was about this time last year. And what really kind of triggered me to start building. I mean, obviously I was raking in, good money. I've been here for like 6 months now. I was raking in good money. I was doing 10 to 15, every month. And I was like, why am I not like showing this, to my roommates here at USC? Like, why am I not getting more people? And trust me, some people are stubborn. They're like, nah, I don't know if it's like, you're the only one that can do it. Like, we don't really know if we can do, like, trust me. I had talked about it, but I didn't really like focus on it. But really what like kind of triggered it for me was just like when we would do like, these lock-ins and stuff, and you'd see, the gratitude from some of the guys, towards some of their former mentors of bringing them in because of like X, Y, and Z changed their life. And right, I'm young, so like I'm sometimes oblivious to some of these things, but like I would start to notice it a little bit more. And like X, Y, and Z changed their life. Like, thank you so much. And it was like, okay, well, like these guys are doing it. I'm definitely one of the top producers. Like I can definitely show someone how to do this. And like, I want to, help change, have that same persona, have that same effect on someone else's life, like someone before me did. So honestly, that's what changed it. Cause I had a lot of, I was, not in a great financial position when I came into this business by any means. I might've went to USC, which sometimes misleads people, but I was sure as hell not in a good financial position. And I know a lot of other people that probably weren't. And it's really cool. We got guys on here. I'm not going to, say names right now, but we got guys on here that were in $27,000 of credit card debt. We're 7 months unemployed. We're, working a corporate job not a corporate job, another 1099 real estate job where they didn't get paid for 7 months, literally no paychecks for 7 months. Right. You got guys on here in solar that, same story as me. Right. And it's like, you can have that impact on someone's life. And, I know it works. I kind of like tested the form, I did the, work. So I know it worked. And it was really about just showing people that same opportunity, that same, blueprint that isn't even complicated. It's really not a hard business. Sales is hard work, not hard. Just showing people that same blueprint and changing their lives. Cause, we got a guy on here that, like I said, $27,000 of credit card debt, has 0 today. Is financially free, right? Like those kinds of people, they make a difference in your lives. They make it all the worth it. They make 10 o'clock nights, 5:30 a.m. mornings. They make it all worth it. And it inspires me to work more because it's like they bring this great attitude, this great work ethic because they know the opportunity is incredible. So that's kind of what got me building. And, my only regret was not doing it earlier.
Amen, dude. So you're talking to everybody, right? Posting on social, having conversations with people. They come to you, get them licensed. Some do it, some don't. That's just people.
Yep.
They're ready to get going. Now, what's your 24, 48 hour, 7-day, 14-day? What you got a ye plan for success? What is your launch program? And, from a lead spend to expectant of dials, et cetera. How are you getting them out of the gates, making money, or finding out that they're just not that serious?
Yeah. So every single person, and it pretty much goes down, the chain as well. Like, a lot of our managers will also follow this exact program. So I don't know if Jay Maska is on here. I totally stole this from Jay Maska, so I'll give him credit for it. But it's called the first 90 days.
Okay.
So I stole this from Jay. We made our own version of it, but I stole that from Jay. And it's your first 90 days, the success, if you want to see, success in this business, if you want to, make those, 10, no, we're not going to make you any promises. We're very transparent. Our, recruiting calls, we'll talk about what kind of money you can make, but we never make you a promise that you will make it. But if you follow this guideline, we're like, hey, this is going to be 100% realistic. If you can follow this expectation guide, this is realistic for you. Right. So we'll kind of address that. And we have this very rigid, expectation guideline. So it's called the first 90 days hard, whatever you want to call it. First 90 days though. And that's, what we send every single person we work with, and we say, can you follow this, basically. So I'll give you a couple, it's long. It's like 3 or 4 pages. So I'll give you just a couple rundowns of it. It's obviously the first page is a summary, okay, yeah, change your habits, build new schedules, create better habits for your life, work on your personal development, become a new person in 90 days. This isn't a business just about sales. This is actually a business opportunity. So become a better businessman, better mentor, better person, develop yourself, right? So that's the first page, right? The second page is these 20 things that we expect out of you in your first 90 days. So a couple of them are going to be, read 10 pages of a book, right? Go to the gym in the morning. 300 to 400 dials a day minimum, never less. 150 leads a day. Be in contact with your mentors. Write down every single objection you didn't know the answer to, and at 8 p.m. you call your mentor and you ask them every single objection, and we do an objection call at 8 p.m. that night, right? So those are a couple of them. I can send someone the list on it, but that's the rundown on that page. And then the third page is the most important one. So we have 5 goals for our guys. So first goal. I'm not sure if I'm going to remember all of them, but I'll give you a couple of them. So my favorite one, save $20,000. So my goal for every single person that I bring into this business is save $20,000. So I'm sure if you guys have seen our team, our average age is 22. It might even be younger than that. I might be being generous. It might be 21. Our average age is not very old, right? So we all acknowledge that we're not, sometimes when you're young, you don't make the best financial decisions, yada, yada, yada. So our goal for everyone that joins us is save $20,000, right? Yeah, you might make 10, 15,000 your first month. You might make 20,000. Who knows, right? You might make that your first month, but you can't go below that, right? This is not a job. This is not you're not guaranteed that next month. No one's guaranteeing that except you. I mean, you could make more than that, but it's not guaranteed, right? So you need to hold that money. That money needs to go invest back into your business. So our goal, one of our big goals is you save $20,000. Another goal is you read 3 books, so a book per month. And then obviously we want, people to become a sales manager in the first 90 days. So that means you have a team that does 50,000 a month, because what that means is, the best teacher or the best producers are always going to be the best teachers, right? So that's when I learned, math, the best way I learned how to do math, and I hate math, by the way. I was an econ major. I hate it. But when I learned how to do math, the best way when I actually got better at math was when I had to teach it. My mom made me teach it to my little sisters and stuff. That was how I learned math. So if you want to get good at something, you actually learn how to teach it. It's kind of weird, but that's in my opinion. When I tell people, I was like, how do you get good at sales? Well, learn to teach it, So basically, one of our goals for people is that they are teaching people already, in those first 90 days, they're learning to teach it. Not because, we want you to build a team, but more because we actually want you to evolve as a producer. And if you evolve as, a teacher, you'll evolve as a producer. So those are like 3 of the 5. I can't remember the other 2 off the top of my head, but the last section is the schedule, right? And this is the most important one, right? Because I can reference this if you come to me and you're like, Grady, I thought I was going to make this, but I didn't make this, man. Like I thought, I was, this guy, you have like 5 guys that told me like they made X, Y, and Z, and I didn't hit that, man. Like what's going on? And I reference this. So we call full-time 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So 12 hours a day. That's full-time for us, right? If you're 10 to 7, we had this, one of our dogs, Alex Cobb, I don't know if you're on here. He's like, man, you got me in the only industry in the world where 10 to 7 is part-time. I said, yeah, it is part-time. And, for us, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., that's when you're actually full-time. And that's the only time. You work 11 hours, you're still part-time. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., you're full-time, right? And if you're not, that's Monday through Saturday, right? So we'll reference that a lot, with our guys, because if you want to hit these thresholds, you got to put in the work. You are no longer in a, W-2 sales job world. This is a business-oriented business where you have the opportunity to build your own business. So you got to, I think it was Ronnie Salem hopped on one of our Zoom calls. If you want to get paid like a part-time guy, work like a part-time guy. You want to get paid like a 9-to-5er, work like a 9-to-5er. If you want to get paid like a businessman, you work like a businessman. So we're not here to develop 9-to-5 guys. You came to the wrong team if you want to be a 9-to-5 guy. We're here to develop business guys. So we send you that schedule, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And actually it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. because your first hour is at what we call admin hour. But, that's where our schedule is. And I'll reference that if, someone's, comes to me because I'm like, hey, dude, all of our top guys, they run this schedule, right? You went to Cancun or, you went to, I just said Cancun because there's a bunch of guys in Cancun right now. You went to freaking South Dakota, because you made $10,000 2 weeks ago and, you decided it was a good time for a vacation, right? Our top guys, they take 0 vacations, so that's our schedule. That's how we run it. Yeah. People might say it's intense. But that's how we've grown from 0 to 400,000 in less than a year. So, it works in some ways.
And again, it's not forever. It is for now. It's 24, 36, 48 months of intensity. Sales. I mean, those guys that you're breaking sales managers will then soon become senior sales managers, soon vice presidents getting VP bonuses, soon EVPs and board members getting big agency manager bonuses, and having built something real that people can consistently have overrides coming in, bonuses, carrier bonuses from a business that they built because they sacrificed now. Kyle, you're building something fantastic, dude. You're wise beyond your years, and it's I'm stoked to watch you continue to explode, brother. It's awesome. As we close out, any final advice you got everybody out there that's looking at you and going, ooh, I like it, but what's the final rally cry you got for everybody?
Yeah, 100%. So this is my final rally cry. So if you come into this business, on top of like we just talked about with schedule, right? And some guys will say they worked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there's a difference between my dog Luke or Josh working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and maybe some new guy, because those guys, when they're working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., it's call, not, oh, let me grab breakfast with Susie, dinner with Nancy and lunch with, Stacy, right? They're dialed, they're working efficiently, Uber Eats and lunch, whatever needs to be done, right? And there's a difference, right? So one of my big things is non-negotiables, right? So for me, and what I recommend to everybody, if you want to be successful in this business, is you need to make a non-negotiable, and it needs to be a sale a day. And that is quite literally a non-negotiable. So for example, if you have a travel day, right, when you are, we had a day where I was traveling from Florida to New Orleans to California in the same day. It was going to take me like 10 hours of travel. I woke up at like 5 a.m. that day because I had between 5 a.m. and this is Central Times, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. basically before my flight to get a sale, because it was a non-negotiable. So I went 7 months before I broke. The only reason I broke that stupid, I'm so mad about it. The only reason I broke that non-negotiable was because I was raising so much money for the massive event we just had in LA. And I was on the site, building so much stuff for this massive event we just had in LA. And I only broke it 2 days still. And, basically outside the month of July, I went 7 months straight with getting a sale a day. So Monday through Saturday, with the only exceptions being convention and Caitlin and Jacob Gardner's wedding day. The day before, the day after, still got a sale. Those are the only 2 exceptions. Convention and Caitlin and Jacob's wedding were the only 2 exceptions. And I already planned that at the beginning of the year. I already knew that those days were the days I was going to take off, right? But that was non-negotiable. And that means like no matter what, no matter what you got going on that day, no matter what your mom calls you about that day, no matter what happens to your friends, cats, dogs, nephews, goldfish, right? No matter what happens, it's a non-negotiable, right? And if you do that, you will inspire so many others around you, because the people that win in this business are the most consistent people. And that's ultimately the one thing I've learned. It's the one non-negotiable I stick to every single day, every day since the event. I'm back on that track. Haven't missed. Now I won't miss for the rest of the year. It's a non-negotiable for me. So I don't care how many people we have on. I don't care how big of a team we have. I'm still going to hit that non-negotiable. I don't care how many I get 45 missed calls, during a sale these days. So I don't care how many missed calls I have to take. I'm getting my sale. And, my team knows it, they all know it, and they know that that's the expectation for them as well.
Amen, bro. That's awesome. Guys, Drop a 1 in the chat below to give Kyle some love for the 1 sale a day. If you want bonus points, you can write out ONE. But dude, amazing, phenomenal, just focused. Kyle, you are you're making it happen. You're leading an army, and the only thing that they need to decide is, do they want to be alongside you? Because where you're going is so far and fast. It's gonna be tough for them to keep up, but it seems like you got a great group, great support. Luke, good job on all your sales, bro. Alex, these guys that are in here, you know, arm in arm with you. Kyle, you're just killing it, brother. So appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. So when's $1 million a month? What month are we doing $1 million a month in?
December. We'll hit it by end of year.
I love it. December, great month. You know why? People are focused on their family. And it's the last chance they can. Every time I had December was my biggest month of the year. December was always my biggest month because people are thinking about their families, how much they love them, how much they want to protect them. So cheering you on, bro. Maybe sooner.
Yeah, we got Eleanor in here in November. I love it. Maybe we will.
I like it. All right, bro. Thank you again. Have an amazing day. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Talk soon.